Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest is here and nobody's talking about it. But why? Is Fairy Tail that bad?
It's the biggest piece of dog.
No, trust me, Fairy Tail is amazing. But then why don't it get the hype it deserves like other animes, say One Piece? So welcome to the new series of my channel where I compare two anime, and today it's about Fairy Tail, which I think is one of the most underrated anime and the juggernaut with the best selling manga of all time, One Piece. So based on the success or popularity, One Piece is clearly the winner, and even if we get into the depths of plot and drama, which we will soon, I think One Piece still outshines Fairy Tail. But what I want to make people realize that Fairy Tail is far from being called a trash, which most of the people say and hate Fairy Tail without even watching it. So in this video you might think I'm biased towards Fairy Tail, and that is true, but remember I just said I think story wise and drama wise One Piece is better, and I think story is something which matters the most, so don't just flood the comment section saying that One Piece is better, One Piece is good. And when I say One Piece is better in story, that is of course my opinion. Who knows, if you watch Fairy Tail you might think it has better story than One Piece. So for now let me just tell you in what aspects Fairy Tail can outshine One Piece. The first one is something which One Piece is hated for the most, and I think is the only weakness of One Piece, that is pacing. One Piece is slow, but not Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail has one of the best pacing I've seen. This is because it is one of those very rare anime which never bored me in a single episode, because that's how good the pacing is. The show is filled with so much energy, it's exciting to watch each and every second. Most of the long anime like One Piece have some boring episodes before the start of a new arc, that is the build up takes time, but Fairy Tail does not. It starts almost instantaneously. The characters are so full of energy that it affects your mood. It is one of those anime which you will love watching at the end of a tiring day. Even the fight scenes are never dragged. Some anime fights are too lengthy, One Piece has it too, but Fairy Tail never halts a fight more than necessary. Another factor which boosts up the energy on Fairy Tail is the soundtrack, which takes us to the second thing which I think Fairy Tail does better. Don't get me wrong, One Piece has amazing soundtracks too, but over the years of watching so many anime I discovered that there are two types of soundtracks. One which gets better after feeling the story of an anime, that is One Piece soundtracks were fine, but what made them really good is the story and the situations they put them on. However, Fairy Tail soundtracks, the main theme of Fairy Tail is something which doesn't need a good story or situation, it is already too good. The main theme of Fairy Tail is so exciting and full of energy, it will surely give you goosebumps, and this same theme has so many variations it will make you feel sad too if played slowly. This great theme made sure not to bore me in between. Then moving on to the third and the last thing which makes Fairy Tail better is the stability. Now what I mean by that is One Piece has its peak times or sometimes low, that is sometimes it gets boring, but Fairy Tail, as I said, is one of those rare shows which I never got bored watching even a single episode. That's because Fairy Tail is always at its peak. So even at the beginning you can decide if you want to drop the show, because the fun level remains almost the same every arc, that is every arc is good or every arc is bad depending on the person. Okay, so up until now we discussed about the story, drama, pacing, stability and soundtracks. What about the characters? One Piece has one of the best characters and side characters ever in fiction. Fairy Tail has good cast too, but the sheer numbers of overpowered characters in One Piece, along with one of the best backstories written and the level of impact those side casts have on the plot, is something I don't think Fairy Tail has. So character wise I think One Piece wins. However, I have maybe an unpopular opinion that Fairy Tail has, if not the best, then one of the best written female character in anime. Yes, really, her name is Erza. One Piece has great female characters too, and I'm not just saying that they look good, I'm comparing how useful a female character is. If you have been watching anime since long, you know that most of the female characters get outshined by the male ones. However, Erza is a female character which I think is a MVP in every arc. It's like how Sanji was MVP in every arc before time skip in One Piece. As always, takes out a strong opponent and does something unbelievable that no other character would do. She's one of my favorite female characters in anime. So there are amazing characters in Fairy Tail too, and all of the main characters got a backstory of their own which gets disclosed as the story goes forward. Next we talk about plot twist. One Piece wins again. Fairy Tail has great plot twist too, but One Piece has better. About which one is funnier, I think both do the comedy part equally good. It's up to you. Tell me in the comments which you think is more funny. Now let me put light on the part that is why Fairy Tail is hated. One of the things is fan service. Many people say the fan service is too much. However, people are kinda unfair regarding this, because One Piece has excessive fan service too. I mean, look at the bodies of the female character, that's unreal. And most of the female characters has gigantic sizes, you know what I mean? Those sizes are more than what Fairy Tail offers, then why only Fairy Tail gets blamed? One bad thing about Fairy Tail though, I think, is true that the power of friendship thing is overdone and the risky situations are very rare and not much is at stake. But this thing could be good for some too. I think Fairy Tail is a great show to watch after a tiring day because of this. Since it's not that serious, it's just fun to watch. Next, if we see which has better art style and animation, then I will say Fairy Tail has better art style, but the animation, or let's say the fights in One Piece, are better. So overall, both the shows has their strengths and flaws, but One Piece is way more successful than Fairy Tail because of its plot, because I think that's what matters the most. But I would like to say to my fellow One Piece fans that don't hate Fairy Tail even when you haven't watched the show. And if you haven't, I think you should give it a try because there are many similarities in both the show. When I first started watching Fairy Tail, the moment it started, when the narrator was explaining the concept of Fairy Tail, it reminded me of One Piece. Just like how in One Piece there are crews, in Fairy Tail we have guilds. There's also a character in Fairy Tail who is like Shanks from One Piece, like how he's very strong but rarely comes on screen. And just like how One Piece has devil fruits which give unique power to people, in Fairy Tail everybody has a unique magic. The magic types can be similar but the way they use it is different. Also, just like how the protagonist of One Piece, Luffy, has weakness that he can't swim, Natsu, the protagonist of Fairy Tail, has weakness that he can't ride a vehicle. So that was it with my analysis. Tell me in the comments if you want more videos on Fairy Tail and give your opinion on which series you like more. But remember, it's not about which one's better, it's about which one you prefer.